So this is a brief video for the homework, number 3 and 4. Okay, so let's go to chapter 3. Okay, so in this question, we're trying to figure out two individuals here, two countries, Euphoria and Contente. 4 million labor hours, corn, jeans, or combination of both. And this would be for each hour of labor. Okay. So I was going to see if it would let me write on things. Okay, so let's just talk about it, I guess. Actually, let me try to do it this way. This would be a good test. Okay. Suppose Contente uses 1 million for corn, 3 million for jeans. Euphoria uses 3 million for corn, 1 million for jeans. Euphoria then ends up making 24 of corn, 32 of jeans. Contente ends up making 12 of corn, 72 of jeans. Okay, so the first question it's asking here is opportunity cost. So what is Euphoria's basically their trade-off? And what we can see for Euphoria is that the trade-off is 8 to 32. So if we set this up this way, is that there's two countries, Euphoria and Contente, and they can sell corn and jeans. And Euphoria's trade-off was each hour was 8 or 32. For Contente, it was 12 and 24. And so the question here is that if they give up corn, how much more jeans would one get? Here, the trade-off is a 1 to 2 trade-off. Here, the trade-off is a 1 to 4 trade-off. That's giving us an indication of what the trade-off is, because this is what 1 hour does, right? So in Euphoria, with 1 hour, they can make 8 of corn or 32 of jeans. So if they were to, instead of making corn, make jeans, how many jeans would they get? They would get 32, which is a 1 to 4 trade-off, and Contente 1 to 2. Okay, so let's go back to the question. 1 bushel of corn is 4 pairs of genes. Contente's opportunity cost is 1 bushel of corn, 2 bushels of genes. Okay, who makes corn the cheapest? Who gives up the least to make corn? That would be Contente, right? Contente only gives up 2 pairs of genes to make a corn. Now we know by the factor of deduction that Euphoria would be having the comparative advantage in genes, but think of it the other way, right? It'd be 1/4 or 1/2. 1/4 is smaller than 1/2. So in this case, Euphoria. When I say 1/4 and 1/2, here's what I mean. Read this the other way. Sorry. Divide each side by 32. So now you would have 1 of gene and 1/4 of a corn. Divide each side by 24. And you'd have 1 gene, 1/2 of a corn. Who makes genes the cheapest? That would be Euphoria, because 1 gene only costs them 1/4 of a corn. Oh, this question keeps going here, huh? Okay, suppose each country completely specializes in the production of the good in which it has a comparative advantage, producing only that good. In this case, the country that produces corn will produce. So basically now we're saying is that Contente, which does the best at making corn, which makes it the cheapest, is now going to totally focus on corn, and Euphoria will focus on genes. Okay, so we need to look at the math here. Okay, so Contente is then basically going to adjust and make only corn. So that would mean that the 3 million hours you use to make genes can go over to corn. So in Contente, sorry, I'm just reading this here. So in this case here, we're going to take the 4 million labor hours that are available, as indicated up here at the top. They're going to take those 4, and we're going to multiply it by the 12, because that's how many they can make per hour, and they have 4 million. So it's going to be 48. And for genes, which is what Euphoria is going to focus on, Euphoria is going to have 32 times 4. So that's going to be 128. My math is right. Now, I'm doing this for the first time here. I'm not like checking I didn't like check my work beforehand, so I could be wrong here. I'm not perfect. And then you'll probably be like, well, if I can't get it, then how the hell can I be expected to get it? Which is probably some element of truth. So it's the country that produces the country that produces corn, which is, again is Contente, trades 26 of corn in exchange for 78 genes. So we're going to subtract 26 from the 48. And they're going to be left with 22 of corn. Okay, so we're going to have to write this out here. Let's get this out here. Oh, I see what they want us to do here. Okay, we got to fill out this chart first. Okay. With trade, production for Euphoria is the 128. They are going to sell it, and they're going to end up then consuming. So we're going to subtract it because that's what an export would end up doing. They'd be left with 102. Sorry, I put this in the wrong. Mm-hmm. Sorry. 128. Now I'll explain what I'm doing here very briefly. Okay, so starting this off here, what we're told is that each country is going to, the countries are going to trade 26 of corn for 78 of jeans. In the country of Euphoria, which is first listed here, remember what they were going to do is they were going to focus on just jeans because that's what they're best at. And if they just focused on jeans, then they can make 128. So I'm saying with trade, they're going to make no corn and they're going to make all jeans, which is the max is 128. They're going to give up 78, that's the exports. They're going to give that to Contente and get 26 of Contente's corn. So now I'm at 0 going to 26, 128 going down by 78 to 50. Now I need to compare 26 to 24, so that's an addition of 2. And this is going to be an addition of 18. So here what I'm comparing is the 26 and 50 to 24 and 32 and what kind of gain I receive. Let's now look at Contente. Contente, remember, is going to focus on just corn. So if they focus on just corn, that's that 48. And they're going to have no genes because they're going to get the genes from Euphoria. Of that 48, they're going to export 26. So 48 minus 26 would be 22. Comparing that to the 12, that's 10 more. They're going to import 78 genes, giving them 78, which gives them 6 more. So we got to answer this question now here. When the two countries did not specialize, total production was 36 and 104. So now I got to compare. Oh, I see. So they're saying when they were not specializing in trading, they could, the max they could do is 36 and 104. When they're specializing, Contente makes 48 of corn. 48 is 12 more. And genes, if they focus, it's 128. So now we're comparing the 128 to the 104. So that's an increase of 24. Okay, let's see. Okay, I'm scared reading this. Okay, thank God. Okay, that will do it for number 3. I hope that helps. Let's go back here. And let's look at specialization and trade. Okay, country has a comparative advantage in the production of a good. It means it can produce the good at a lower opportunity cost than its trading partner. And Meldonia and Dazonia, potatoes and tea. Before specialization and trade, they were making 24 and 12. Okay. So we're being asked here, what does Meldonia have a comparative advantage in? So Meldonia, so the best way to do this would be you take the 2 endpoints for Meldonia. So write on a piece of paper 48 of T and 24 of P. For Dazonia, it is 24 T and 48 of P. Okay. So in the country of whatever that was, Meldonia or whatever that was, the trade-off there was 48T to 24P in Desmonia or whatever that was, Desmonia. The trade-off was 24 of T to 48 of P. Now, the best way to do this, the best way to set this up is reduce each side to 1 and see where you end up to do that comparison. 1T, divide each side by 48, is 1/2 of a P. 1P would be 2T. Okay, so there's what my trade-off or opportunity cost is for Meldonia or Mesdomina or whatever. I say that not because I'm thinking poorly of their name, I don't remember what their name was. 1T to 2P, dividing each side by 24, divide each side now by 48, and you would get 1P to 1/2 of a T. Okay. Let's go back to the question because I've already forgotten it. Who has Meldonia? What is Meldonia's comparative advantage? So what is Meldonia good at doing? Meldonia is good at making tea. Dazonia, well, we know by deduction that it has to be potatoes, but let's confirm that it is potatoes. It costs Dazonia 1/2 a T to make a potato. It would cost the M person 2 T's to make a potato. So Dazonia makes it the cheapest. So I can confirm that that is true. After specialization, the 2 countries can produce a total of. So if that's the case, so now we're just going to be looking at the extreme. So Meldonia only making tea, it's going to be 48. And Dazonia also makes 48 of potatoes. Okay, now they're going to trade. And they're going to trade 1 for 1. So if they're willing to trade 1 for 1, so the thing to remember here is that they have the initial consumption point at A. So we're saying here that oh no, this is false, because you can't consume outside the frontier if you don't trade. So we know that's true. Okay, we just have to do these 2 parts. So what I want to do is I need to make it look like this, because now it's becoming a 1-to-1 trade-off. And same here, if I'm understanding this correctly, a 1-to-1 trade-off. Let me see if I'm in fact correct. What did it want me to do? Oh, sorry. A little uncertain about that. They wanted me to stay. So you kind of see the correct answer here. I even said it and I forgot when I was saying it. It wants me to stay at the original consumption point of A. So that's going to limit how much more potatoes I would get. So it's not going to let me. Does it let me? Oh, it doesn't let me revise it. Okay. Same here. Sorry. So I should have brought this over. Okay. Okay. Let's just try another version here just to make life a little simpler. Oh, good. I just get to jump to the. Oh, no, I don't. Sorry. Okay, let's start this again. 24 to 48. 48 to 32. Okay. So it's for the first person, their trade-offs. Over here, so who makes L the cheapest? That would be this first country, I don't remember the name of it. Who makes sugar the cheapest? That would be the second country, in this case, Meldonia. They specialize, so if they specialize, Fredonia is only making lemons. That's going to result in 48 of lemons. And then Ponia is only going to make sugar, and that's going to put us at 48 as well. So the part I missed here and why I'm doing this again is that they're going to stay at their initial consumption point. So what that means is that I'm going to drag this. What I'm going to do is keep it in that narrow boundary of where the point A is. Same here. Now why is it upset? Sorry. I gotta read what it's doing here. Yeah, I said that. It was saying, oh, saying your answer. Yes. Correct answer. Why? Sorry, give me 1 second. Yes. Yes. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, well, I'm not going to do this again. Let me just explain what's happening here. Why it's saying I'm continually wrong on this. It's a wording issue, if anything. So they're saying they're going to trade 16 for 16. So if, in this case, Fredonia gives up 16 million lemons, that's going to take them from 48 minus 16 is going to leave me with 32. So that's why this is going to start at 32. It's not going to let me adjust it here, but that's why this, the correct answer, let's see if it'll let me focus on this here. It won't let me make it bigger. This should be happening right here at 32. And then it should have 16 more. So the 16 should be right here. So it should be at 16. And 32. The box there. Okay, I hope that helps. Probably doesn't.